Nonimatikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, guys, I don't know if you guys have noticed that Umncube decided, you know what? I understand you've put me in this box and you've made me an I choose person. You've made me the gunman, the trigger puller, etc. But now, since you guys are busy saying and accusing me that I'm the person that shot and killed Senzo Meyiwa, prove it, okay? Now I'm saying I didn't do it. Prove it that I did what you people are saying I did. So now he's not just sitting there now. He's tired perhaps of saying, I did not kill him. In fact, he keeps saying it, but he's like, okay, if you guys are saying you guys are forcing that I've done it, prove it. His position as it has emerged through the evidence in chief is much more devastating to the state's theory. He is essentially challenging the state to prove that the person it has placed in the dock is actually the person its evidence describes. And that is where his case becomes very interesting, because now the state is being put back to its investigation. Show me that I did this. Firstly, Ncube's fundamental position is that you guys have the wrong man. I am not the person that you are looking for. Ncube's defense attacks the case at its foundation, identity. The state has attempted to construct a case around cell phone evidence, alleged communication photographs, they heard alleged links to other accused, and the theory Ncube was one of the intruders. But Ncube denies being at the Khumalo house on the 26th of October 2014 or being anywhere near, like close by. Yes, he was at Vosloorus, and I'm sure Vosloorus is a big township. But now being accused of being at the Khumalo is a stretch, okay? So that means his defense is effectively saying, don't start by asking whether I participated in a murder. First, prove that I was there. That's a crucial distinction, because now this is where the state banyaga ko. Secondly, the cell phone evidence is probably the biggest battlefield for all of them, because now the state wants to use the cell phone evidence, and it comes in different folds. First, it's the pictures, and then it's the digital footprint of the cell phone, which shows us where Ncube was, the messages, the calls. Do you see? It's different folds. Now, this is where the state has something tangible according to them, but tangible does not automatically mean incriminating. Evidence previously presented showed communication between Ncube's cell phone and that of accused 5 on the day Senzo was killed. 2 calls were reported around 1349 and 1519, with the calls registering on Vosloorus Tower. So Ncube was still in Vosloorus at the time. I suppose then that's why he spoke to Untuli, if he did. That is obviously something the state can point to. But here's the brutal problem for the prosecution. A cell phone communication with another cell phone does not automatically establish that the owner of that cell phone was physically at the crime scene, okay? And it can establish a communication. It can potentially establish a broad geographical area. It does not itself establish communication occurred, whether the phone was actually with registered user, etc., whether the phone was at the Khumalo house or the person participated in a murder. That is the gap precisely where Ncube's defense has been operating. And besides that, even if I thought there was no call between Ncube and Untuli, but fine, even if there are calls between the two of them, still, it does not say they killed Senzo Meyiwa. If he got these calls around 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, let's see. Yes, it says the calls happened, the one 1349 and the other one 1519. So if these calls happen, then why leave Vosloorus? But you have a job to do, because he left Vosloorus and Untuli was never there. Now, that's obviously something the state can point to, but there's a brutal problem here. A very serious one. The state cannot want to use this evidence pertaining the cell phone and not want to use the same cell phone evidence when it's going to assist Ncube. Then comes the Kelly connection. This is another potential explosive weakness. The state's broader theory has evolved an alleged connection between the accused and the people surrounding Senzo. But Mncube's defense previously attacked cell phone evidence concerning alleged communication with Kelly Khumalo. In 2024, Advocate Charles Mnisi argued that cell phone numbers attributed to accused person had been incorrectly or improperly linked, challenging the state identification of the numbers. That matters seriously, Gengo. Because what do you mean? Because if the state wants the court to accept Mncube's cell phone, another accused Kelly, murder, conspiracy, then every link has to survive scrutiny. Break one important link and the entire chain becomes weaker. Now, this link was even broken by, there is no phone calls between Kelly Khumalo and Mncube. There is also no phone calls between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 5. That has been established. So how are they coming with that one up? How are they coming with that one up? Also, the head is another problem. The state has previously advanced the allegation that a head recovered at the crime scene was connected to Mncube and that Mncube was alleged with the triggerman. That is a very serious allegation, but the defense has attacked the evidential foundation connecting the head to Mncube, including the forensic evidence surrounding it. It was reported that during cross-examination, Nisi cross-examination focused heavily on the head and the DNA evidence surrounding the head, and it was proven that that head does not have anybody's DNA when it comes to the accused, all of them, including Mncube, the one that is supposed to be the one that owned the so-called head. Yebo. Now the brutal question becomes, where is the scientific bridge between this head was found at the scene and Mncube wore this head while murdering Senzo? Those are two completely different propositions. The state needs the second one. So mabasinike evidence that the head belonged to Mncube, but there isn't now. Okay. And then there is the firearm. The particularly important because this is particularly important because devastating until you examine the actual evidential connection. A firearm was previously recovered from Mncube's home in a separate investigation, but a state witness testified that Mncube's firearm recovered from the firearm that was recovered from Mncube was not linked to Senzo Meyiwa's murder. That is significant because possession of an unrelated firearm is not equivalent possession of the murder weapon. Now, the state cannot simply allow the emotional association with Mncube plus firearm to substitute that for forensic proof connecting that firearm to Senzo's shooting. Mncube's argument about the identity parade is extremely important also. One of the most striking things from his recent evidence in his complaint is his complaint that he was not taken through an identification parade when he was initially charged. He said that not being taken to an identity parade denied him justice. Now, that doesn't automatically mean the state case is collapsing, but analytically, it raises massive questions. How was Mncube identified as one of the alleged perpetrators? Because this case is ultimately about who entered that house, not who had a suspicious cell phone, not who knew nobody, who knew somebody, not who possessed a firearm in another case, not who appears in a photograph. Who was physically there? That's the question the court ultimately has to answer beyond reasonable doubt. When it comes to that, those are the things that Mncube is asking. And the other issue is, when it comes to this entire case, his understanding of it, if I am guilty, where is my sender? He is asking that question. If you people are saying I am guilty, where is my sender? Why is my sender not here with me? Now it becomes difficult for the state because they need to answer that question. You are saying I'm guilty? Fair. Where is my sender? Why is my sender not with me? That is the question that Mncube is asking the state. So that is how he is analyzing. You are busy accusing me of a crime, and you even know the person who sent me to become a gunman, but the person is not here. Why is that person not arrested? That's something that he keeps asking. Anyway, when it comes to the Mncube case, what are your thoughts about it? Do you think Umncube is still doing great so far with his evidence? Do you think he did very well when it comes to his evidence in chief? Do you think he is on the right path? He's still answering fairly. He's still honest. For me, I feel like his story cycle is making sense. I feel like there are no loopholes in his story unless you are stupid and there's nothing that we can do for you. Absolutely nothing. What are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's talk comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. Please enjoy your day. Bye bye.